Welcome to Subramani. I'm going to talk to you about something which is of recent origin, or I wouldn't say recent origin, but recently it has been happening more often, and you have to use your brain, whack your brain whether you want to participate in it. And I'm talking of the share buyback which companies are doing. So, which are the companies which are doing share buyback? Largely, you see Infosys, TCS, maybe a couple of pharma companies, right? I don't remember often, but I think maybe Sun Pharma also did a buyback, right? So, is it good or bad? Well, if you are a student of equity, you would remember the Modigliani-Miller theory of sometime in the late 50s or early 60s. They said people should be indifferent to whether they get the reward as a dividend or whether they get it as just appreciation in value. You should be indifferent to dividends, is what Modigliani Miller said, and they, I think, got the Nobel Prize for it, and they said price should not matter. However, over a long period of time, you realize that the amount of money that you get back as dividend is far greater than the amount of money that you invested. So the total return that you get is appreciation plus dividend, and appreciation is like this and dividends are like this after some time, because after say 20-30 years you find that the dividend is much greater than the appreciation because you have been getting it regularly. How do you know this? When you do a DRIP, that you get back 100 rupees as dividend, you reinvest 100 rupees. I'm for a minute ignoring taxation. So if I have invested say 1,200 rupees in Colgate in the 1970s and I'm getting 1 lakh rupees as dividend today, I use that 1 lakh to buy shares of Colgate. So this is again this is called DRIP, dividend reinvestment plan. It's not available in India. In India you have to do it yourself physically, online, whatever. I mean that you have to do it. The company won't do it for you. Company will not say in lieu of dividend here are 30,000 shares. That won't happen, right? So this is what happens. So should you be happy or should you be sad? Now look at the companies which are giving. Companies which are giving are, say, let's talk of TCS or Infosys. These are the same companies which are giving ESOP to their employees at a slightly discounted price. Not that it is too much of a discount. So you arrive at a price and say, okay, for the 3,850 rupees is what at which I will give it to my employees, and 4,500 is the price at which I will buy it back, where my employees also tender, right? So what are you trying to do? You're trying to undermine the value of your shares. Well, this is one line of thinking. In fact, I'm going to read out a para from Berkshire Hathaway's letter talking about buyback and ESOP, right? So he talks about that. The other way to look at it is to say, oh, I'm very happy with this because I'm on a high tax bracket, so I would happily convert my money into capital gain rather than as dividend income, because on dividend income I pay 40% tax or 40 plus surcharge, so about 43% tax, which is at the highest slab. But in capital gain I'll pay only 10%. Yes, it will push me to a higher slab because of capital gain, but that's different. But at least I pay only 10% tax. So whenever I have long-term capital gain, at that stage I will go and surrender, or I will not even surrender. I'll keep it as it is. When the company does a buyback, the value of the share will go up, so I will hold on and I will sell only when I need. Both are correct. So let me just read. Like I said, I'm going to read something from the logic, of course, is to say that the company does not really need so much of cash. What will I do with so much of cash? So therefore I'm not paying dividend. I'm converting that dividend into a buyback. But you don't see companies which don't give ESOP, like say a Colgate or a HUL. They don't indulge in too much of a buyback, right? Because they have to think hard whether they want to. Of course, they all have cash. Nestle has enough cash. They don't really know what to do with the money. But they are not doing so much of buyback. It's not that they have never done, but they are not doing so much of buyback. Buyback is being done by companies which are giving ESOP, which makes it a little worrisome about conflict of interest between the guys doing both. Imagine I am the CFO of a company. I do the pricing, I mean, as per the formula of SEBI, and I say at this price I will give shares to everybody, including myself, right? The whole process is a little it's stinking, but let me just read out from Berkshire Hathaway's annual letter of 1999. That's it. There is only one combination of facts that makes it advisable for a company to repurchase its shares. First, the company has available funds. Obviously, it has to have available funds and it should have borrowing capacity. Don't give away everything and impact your borrowing capacity beyond the near-term needs of the business. And second, finds its stock selling in the market below its intrinsic value, conservatively calculated. Now, is TCS or an Infosys undervalued at this stage when they are doing a buyback? It's your call. It's not my call. This is what Berkshire Hathaway's Warren Buffett is saying, right? To this we add a caveat. Shareholders should have supplied all the information they need for estimating that value. Otherwise, insiders could take advantage of the uninformed partners and buy out their interests at a fraction of the true worth. Not my words, Buffett's words. We have on rare occasions seen that happen. Usually, of course, chicanery is employed to drive stock prices up, never down, right? So, but it is possible that sometimes they hit it down so that they can get a better price, SEBI, as per the SEBI formula. I'm not getting into that. That's too political, right? So if the company is really selling below market value and you think that the PE is too low, that's a good reason to buy. So Coal India buying its shares makes a lot of sense because it's available at a PE of 6, maybe now it's 6.5. But should companies available at a PE of 60 or 70, sorry, go and do a buyback? I don't know, take your own call. So what is the management logic for giving away the share at a particular price, which is a SEBI related price, SEBI defined price, and for buying back shares at a price much higher than that? Well, there are company may not really have too much or may not even know what to do with the money. So that could be one solid reason, which is not a very great thing if you're a long-term shareholder. If the company does not need the money and does not know where to invest, maybe you should anyway be not owning that share, right? So all your gain should come from the fact the company is doing well and they need the money and they're using the money to grow. They have a good ROE. They have a good ROCE, they have good RONW, and they've got, and if they think that they by adding more money in the business, it will get better returns, then there is no reason for you to like the buyback. But when a company starts doing buyback more aggressively, then you keep wondering whether it is a good long-term orientation at all to be in a company which does not know where to invest, or maybe it's an industry. Like suppose you are in coal industry today, you don't really want to invest more money because the whole world is getting towards greener fuel. So if you are a coal company or if you are an oil company, do you want to really invest in exploration? Do you want to create new mines from which you will take out coal for the next 40, 50, 70 years? Or will it be replaced by gas and by solar and all other sources of energy, green energy? So when the company doesn't know what to do and does not want to invest, Coal India may be a very good candidate or a great candidate for doing a buyback. But why does a TCS do a buyback when it is giving ESOP at more or less the same price, or maybe at a slightly discounted price? Simply because they don't know how to use the money. They've got so much cash. They are not doing any great acquisitions or nothing is happening. So obviously they've got money, so therefore they are doing a buyback. Buyback is more attractive from a tax point of view, and all the employees of TCS or Infosys are going to be paying tax at a reasonably high rate, 30 to 45%, right? So for them it makes sense. So does it make sense for you? Answer is yes. You don't have too much of a choice. Do you have to give it back? Well, make your choice. You can buy some shares in the market today, and hopefully before the market comes down and the buyback price is there, you may make some money. But is it a great thing? I don't know. Be your own judge. Don't ask me to judge whether it is then there is management greed, by which management can give a higher and higher price. They can do a tender and they can make sure that the tender is full of employees giving up their own ESOP. If you thought it was such a great share to buy and you took the ESOP, why are you now selling it? Simply because there is profit to be made. Nothing right or wrong. I'm not passing a value judgment, but think about all this. Don't have a single-minded and very narrow view that ESOP is good and buyback is good. Sometimes ESOP and buyback conflict. That is what Buffett is talking about. Thank you.